FBA: Lineage, Legacy, and the Debate Around Identity. Hey everyone, welcome back to Blue State of Mind, where we unpack the cultural, political, and spiritual landscapes of Black identity in the modern world. I'm your host, Blue Matter, and today we're diving into a conversation that has stirred both pride and controversy: the rise of the term Foundational Black American, or FBA. Let's talk about what it is, why it matters, and why some people are pushing back. What is FBA? The term Foundational Black American was popularized by Tariq Nasheed to describe Black Americans who descend from chattel slavery in the United States. It recognizes the unique lineage, history, and contributions of this group, who built America with unpaid labor and fought for civil rights that benefited everyone. It's more than just ancestry, it's a political and cultural stance. It highlights how Black American descendants of slavery have often been sidelined, even within broader quote unquote Black or quote unquote African American labels. Why some support it. Supporters of FBA argue that this distinction is necessary. Why? Because lineage matters when talking about reparation, systemic harm, and cultural preservation. FBA advocates believe that if everyone is lumped together under the term quote unquote Black, the specific historical debts owed to descendants of American slavery get erased. They also argue that FBA culture, from hip hop and jazz to soul food and fashion, and let's not forget the Harlem Renaissance, has been foundational to American culture but is often co opted, minimized, or exploited. The criticism. But the FBA term isn't without controversy. Some believe it's become a vehicle for division rather than empowerment. Critics argue that the movement, particularly its loudest voices, has veered into xenophobic territory, framing Black immigrants or first gen diaspora folks as quote unquote opportunists who don't respect the legacy of American born Black people. Others question the intentions of its founder, Tariq Nasheed, whose online behavior and rhetoric has been called misogynistic or inflammatory. For some, it's not the identity that's the issue, it's the delivery. Is FBA becoming a cult of personality? Some critics have gone as far as to call the FBA movement a cult. While that may sound extreme, it reflects real concerns about how centralized the movement is around one person. What do they mean? First, charismatic leadership. Tariq Nasheed is not just the founder, he is the central figure. Some say that any disagreement with him often leads to personal attacks, not discussion. Second, suppression of dissent. Some people who question the movement or even offer constructive criticism are often labeled as tethers, agents, or accused of being immigrants trying to undermine FBAs. Third, us versus them mentality. There's a clear in group slash out group dynamic. You're either on code or you're the enemy. That kind of thinking can shut down nuance and dialogue. Fourth, online harassment. Critics, especially women, have reported being doxxed, insulted, or harassed online by FBA loyalists just for disagreeing or questioning the movement's direction. Let's be clear. This doesn't make FBA a cult in the religious sense, but these cult-like dynamics do raise concerns about how much the movement centers on personality over policy. Movements thrive when they make room for growth, accountability, and strategy. When followers can't question the leader without backlash, we have to ask, is this about empowerment or ego? Has FBA made real efforts for reparations? Now, let's be real. Has the FBA movement actually pushed for reparations in a concrete political way? Tariq Nasheed has not had any verified or public meetings with local, state, or federal politicians to negotiate or draft reparations legislation. His contributions have been mostly in cultural organizing, digital advocacy, and raising awareness through events like the Rally for Reparations and the establishment of the Hidden History Museum in LA. He has encouraged political pressure and brought attention to lineage-based identity, but he has not been involved in legislative strategy, policy drafting, or formal negotiations. The actual on-the-ground work, from lobbying to working with reparations task forces and commissions, has largely been led by groups like ADOS, NAASD, and NCOBRA. These organizations have held national summits with policymakers and scholars, participated in city and state level commissions in places like California, New York, and Boston, lobbied for H.R. 40 and drafted white papers to support federal legislation. So while FBA may spark the fire, others are often carrying the legislative torch. So, can we hold both truths? So here's the question. Can we affirm FBA lineage without turning our backs on global Black unity? I believe the answer is yes. We can honor the unique experience of descendants of American slavery, their legacy, their struggle, their culture, and still recognize the shared fight against anti-Blackness across the diaspora. Respecting differences doesn't have to mean rejecting others. So, what do you think? Is the FBA label empowering or dividing us further? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's open the floor for real dialogue. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video if it resonated. Until next time, keep your mind elevated and your vision clear. This is Blue State of Mind.